After leaving my job at 55, the question I get asked most often is, how much do you actually need? Today, I'll show you exactly what my baseline spending looks like and give you a simple 10-minute calculator so you can work out yours. Hi, this is Simon from Salary to Side Hustle. Now let me give you a little bit of context. My wife and I live in Somerset in the UK in a 4-bedroom house that we have no mortgage on. We don't have any dependent children living at home, and sadly, since last May, we don't have any pets either. But we still have all the usual costs that come with home and life in this part of the UK. Obviously, your life won't look like ours. Maybe you live in Manchester, maybe you don't live in the UK at all. Maybe you've still got a mortgage, maybe you only have one car. All that's fine, the calculator can adjust for that. But these are my numbers, so you can understand what's behind them. Right, with that little bit of context, let's pull up the spreadsheet I've created. This is what I actually use, and you can use it to find your number. The link to it is in the pinned comment below. I've split the spreadsheet into 3 columns: essentials, living well, and luxury. But let's start with essentials. What do we absolutely have to spend to survive? So here, as you can see, we've got the spreadsheet with the 3 columns. We're going to dive through each one relatively quickly, section by section, and here's the first essentials section. So as I said in the intro, my wife and I are lucky enough not to have a mortgage. Clearly, for many people, that's not the case. So in that line, you need to put over what you need to pay in terms of your mortgage or your rent. We've then got council tax. In the rest of the world, I think that's called property tax, but we've got a specific name for it here in the UK. As you can see, for us, that's about £250 a month. There's water, electric and gas, which in combination come to about £160 a month. And then TV, internet, mobiles. This is where we make some of our savings. Our mobiles tend to be pre-owned, and we don't have a specific contract. We just have a monthly bill. For me, that's only £8 a month, and the mobile itself cost me about 150 quid. So that's a good saving there. You can spend obviously a huge amount more than that as you go. Home insurance, everybody needs this. That's just to obviously protect the building and contents. A little bit of money for property maintenance. It's a relatively new house. We haven't had to spend much on it yet, but over time we expect to see that happen. Garden maintenance, I think that's now my job, so I can probably scrub that one, but we've kept it in there in case we want things doing that take more skill than I've got. And then food and housekeeping. We actually get one of the boxed deliveries, mainly because it keeps us eating with variety and a bit more healthily. So we've allocated about £500 for that each month. So that was home, and then this is the transport bit. This is another area where we make a saving over a lot of our people we know. So we've got 2 cars. They're both paid off, but we've allocated £300 a month as savings towards the deposit for whenever we need to replace one of those cars, or potentially to have it as a payment for a lease. I'm now at home a lot of the time, so petrol bill isn't very high for me, and my wife only works about 10 miles away, so her commute costs aren't very high either. So £100 for petrol, and then servicing and maintenance. Obviously, they don't come as a monthly payment. That's spread over the year whenever we get the cars serviced. And then car insurance, it's about 50 quid per month across the 2 cars. The spreadsheet, you can add whatever you need in here. Obviously, the version you'll have will be a blank version, and you can put in whatever costs you need. And then on to the other personal basics. So clothing, Vinted and Depop are fantastic additions to our app list recently. So they've saved us quite a lot of money. And then beauty, grooming, dentist, medical insurance. In the UK, we've got the NHS, so currently we don't actually spend anything on private medical insurance. That may change as we get older, in case we need to get things done on our timeline rather than potentially what the NHS timeline would be. So fundamentally, there are essentials, and if we reveal the actual number, it's about £25,380 a year. So that's to keep us ticking over. Interestingly, that's broadly twice the UK state pension. So that's quite a convenient number if we map that forward into the future. So that's the essentials done. And if you're enjoying this video, do please like and subscribe to help the channel grow. There'll be more insights into what retirement is like, and also some tools you can use to plan yours. And please do comment below on what you think your numbers are. Particularly interested in what people think is their essentials, because that's what you compare back to if worst comes to the worst. And also let me know what you think I've missed and what you make of my numbers. Let's move on to living well. Now, holidays is a biggie for us. This probably looks a bit extravagant. We don't spend £1,000 a month, but if you aggregate it over the year, and you've got 2 or 3 decent holidays in there, that money quite quickly goes. It's one of the main things that we're looking to get out of retirement. So we've got to budget accordingly. Obviously, many people will spend less, and some people might spend that on just a single holiday. So as with everything, there's a lot of variety, but holidays definitely a big cost for us. And then moving on to social and entertainment, it's getting very expensive to go out in the UK. Even where I live in Somerset, you can quite easily spend £7 on a pint of beer, and £20 on a main course in a restaurant. So even just 2 or 3 times a month, you can blow through most of that eating out budget. And then entertainment is the same, really. If we head out, a round of drinks for 4 people, you've lost 20-30 quid straight away. So those costs will only go one way, but that's roughly where we're at the moment. And then lifestyle and hobbies. Now, my main hobby is running, and it costs me £10 a year for the membership of the running club I'm in, which is a bargain. But I've taken up pickleball, which it costs me about 7 or 8 quid for a session. So if I'm playing 3 times a week, suddenly that's £100 a month gone. And if we're both doing it, that's £200 a month. So I'm expecting that cost to rise, assuming I get addicted to pickleball. But as we stand, it's about £200 a month allocated. We haven't really got many magazines or subscriptions, but there's one that's just about £10 a month on there. And then wine, spirits. We do have a drink with most evening meals, but not a huge amount. So the value for that is only £50. And then pets. Now, these are zeroed out for us. Quite a big saving. Obviously, I'd rather have the pet, rest in peace. But the current costs for those are zero. And then in terms of generosity, we try and budget throughout the year to make sure that we understand how much we're going to be spending on gifts for people and Christmas and birthdays. Charity donations is about £50 a month, not exactly hugely generous, but at least it's something. And then cash withdrawals just to cover random costs throughout the year, it's about £100. So if we take the overall living well cost, that's 23,500, and add those to the essentials at 25,000, you get 48,900, which is approximately £4,000 a month. I guess in terms of the UK, when you've got 2 earners, that's not necessarily achievable by everybody, but it's certainly nothing ridiculous. So that's where we are, and that's our baseline here. We are looking to have this living well experience rather than obviously the essentials. So £4,000 a month is broadly where we're at. And then if we move on to luxury, now in my life, luxury really, anything that goes into this column at the moment tends to go into savings and investments. We're in the save phase of our lives still, moving rapidly towards spend, but we're not there yet. So really, rather than giving Elon yet more money towards his $1 trillion, I'd rather have an older car and some more money in investments. But this column is there for anybody who wants to plan ahead. Maybe you're getting a new kitchen, maybe you're getting an extension done, a world cruise. Who knows? Everybody needs these exciting goals. So I put an example in here of £1,000 a month on a luxury car, and then that would take this lifestyle to about 60,000, 61,000 a year, so about 5,000 a month. That's where we've got to so far. The idea now is that you take the spreadsheet, you populate it yourself, you look at what your essentials would look like, and then you're living well, and then map onto any luxuries. And that should give you your baseline cost for what you need as you go into your retirement. Now, beyond that, what a lot of people forget is that there's inflation. So those costs are only going to go one way. And to help with that, I've built a 10-year future tracker to take those costs, so the 25,000, for example, for essentials, and then to map it forward, and then you can see what it would look like in 10 years. So you've been able to plan ahead. So in my case, if you do map that forward at an average of 3%, which seems to be broadly where the UK economy is over the last several years, we've got £34,100. So I need to make sure that the investments and the savings and the budget will increase over time to match that. Now, we also had a big inflation spike at round about the 2021-2022 period. If you want to look what that's looked like, just change that 3% figure to 10%. The numbers are going to be scary, but it will help with your planning. And then the same happens with the living well and the luxury numbers. So it just maps those forward over the next 10 years. So as I said at the start, if you want to download this spreadsheet, you can follow the link in the pinned comment and populate it yourself and start planning. Freedom really only comes with planning, unless you win the lottery or happen to have a big inheritance coming your way. So all the very best with your planning. This was Simon from Salary to Side Hustle. Bye for now.